What's up, everybody?
Man, that was a close call.
That was close. Y'all didn't... Behind the scenes here, man. It was intense.
It was pretty intense.
Welcome to Sinister Sinema. Day 9 of
31 Days of Halloween.
Halloween Fest 2022.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods today?
Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. Craziness. I love this movie.
Oh, yeah, it's great. I saw it twice at the theater.
Yeah.
I never see anything twice at the theater.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I feel like it's one of those movies that comes along and you're kind of not sure if it's going to be like good or not, but then it turns out just to be awesome.
Great.
And now it's like kind of one of my go-tos. I'll like just watch it. It's like one of the ones I'll throw on the back.
You know what's crazy? You know what some of my go-tos are?
What?
They're both Will Smith movies.
Hancock and the straight-to-video Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Close.
Hancock and... Was Hancock one of them?
No. I hate that movie. That is the shittiest movie ever made.
What's the other one?
The storyline makes no fucking sense. They are I Am Legend.
That's a good one.
And I Am Robot.
That's 2 I Am movies.
Oh shit, I just thought about that.
Hey, Mr. Monkey. Do you like Will I Am?
Yeah, he's
I'm a bee, I'm a bee, I'm a bee.
Yeah, I like him. And then his other one I like to watch over and over is him slapping Chris Rock.
So that's weird. So I Am Legend, I Am Robot. Wait, what's it called? Is it called I Am Robot?
iRobot.
iRobot, okay. and it's Will Smith.
I said I Am Robot.
Yeah. And then I just repeated you like nothing. So I think that's Will I Am Will Smith. So there's some kind of weird connection there. I just haven't figured it out yet.
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, separating. I'm gonna turn your mic. Sorry. Whoppers. So yeah, how was everything after you left last night? Cody hung around for a while. We had some good conversations.
Cody's a maniac now.
Dude, that guy, after we were done, I'm just like, hey, did you really watch all those movies this year? He's on like 230 movies or something.
He's a maniac.
He started working from home, so he just started like watching movies from home and then got addicted. I don't know.
And then got a dick.
I don't remember him being that into horror whenever we had him on one of our previous shows. And a straight to YouTube video. And that never aired. But
it will never see. Oh, if you're a good friend of ours, maybe one day you'll watch it.
I don't know. I think there's probably some incriminating stuff in there. There's some scary stuff in there. But
I know one of us pulled our wiener out.
I don't know if that happened during the stream or after, but yeah, that night got crazy. I mean, we drank an entire, absinthe bottle. Man, Mr. Monkey, I wish we had barbacoa in Big Red.
Yeah.
We're just a little bit too far away from the south side for that. Right?
There's no Rios near you. There's a Rios right up the street from me. But lately, man, they've been closing early because you go and if you get there at 12 and beyond, they close at 1. But if you wake up and it's already like 10:30 or something, you might as well just not even bother.
You're just done.
They're just going to give you a pound of grease. Just all the grease at the bottom. But that's the best part, though.
Like whenever you get the barbacoa and they throw it into the to-go thing and then all the grease just starts seeping out. Yeah.
So good.
The paper they put in there is just like completely melted in with the meat because of the oil.
Sorry, I'm chewing on my Whopper.
It's Christmas candy. No, sorry, Halloween candy. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
It was...
I didn't go to bed till 5.
I was thinking like we better last night during the stream I was like, man, we better cut this off because we could just keep talking forever and we haven't even been talking about the movie for like
2 hours. We talked over 2 hours just about everything.
Yeah, like an hour that was definitely not. Jamie asked how you're feeling about the 31 days so far.
I love it. I love it. The only thing is the gas. I'm putting up to a tank of gas a day going to Betters.
That's pretty crazy.
My truck gets 2 gallons, gallon and a half, 2 gallons, maybe 2.5 gallons to the mile.
Because you got those
2 hours. 2 hours to the gallon. 2 gallons to the hour?
Yeah.
What is it?
The miles. So, I mean, what do you have like the double pump Holly 4-stroke double overhead cam thing going on? That's why. You
don't know how many times I pull up and some fucking crazy rednecks. They're all, that thing gotta hit me all the time, and I'm like, excuse me, I don't know what that is. You know, I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, you have a Dodge, right? Yeah, it's a Hemi. It's a Hemi.
Panama Red. What do you love, Panama Red? Tell me what you love.
He loves 31 Days of Halloween.
Shh, I wanted to see what he said.
Oh, he loves Hemis.
Thing got a Hemi. Yeah, so today's gonna be good. There's so much stuff on this movie.
I know, man. They went all out on this thing.
A movie that got shelved for fucking 3 years.
It's got pre-buff or pre-super buff Chris Hemsworth.
But you can tell right away. You're like, man,
that he was already going to be buff.
That guy has potential to be an amazing actor.
I thought you were going to say to be buff.
To be buff.
He's got potential to be really buff. So they made this and Red Dawn like right back to back, right? Because he was in Red Dawn too, right?
Actually, this scene where before there's going to be spoilers in this, of course. The scene in this movie where he died, before he dies.
He dies?
And he's gathering the troops together, you know?
Yeah.
They saw that in the dailies, and they were like, we're going to cast him for the lead in Red Dawn. Just on that scene.
And kill him again.
And it tanked. It tanked at the box office.
You can't remake Red Dawn.
Fuck around with Patrick Swayze.
I think you just can't remake Red Dawn. Like, Red Dawn was just...
Patrick Swayze. I'm still waiting for Ghost 2.
The real one.
Yeah,
somebody should make it like a horror movie, but like it's Patrick Swayze's ghost coming back to haunt sets that he should have been in the movies. Or what if it's Ghost 2 and it's Patrick Swayze's ghost coming back to haunt the sets of remakes of Patrick Swayze movies. So like they try to remake the Bouncer movie, Roadhouse. They try to remake Roadhouse, and as they're doing it, Patrick Swayze's character comes in and like starts killing the new Patrick Swayze. Like it's like a horror. I'm gonna write that story. Somebody will pick it up. We got to get Patrick Swayze's wife to sign off on it.
Did you heard a beep? Is there a cop outside or something?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. That's a good story. It's in my head now.
Great story. Then he goes to the Donnie Darko remake and he starts touching little kids' booties. Like,
he does it though whenever the person that's playing his part is in the room alone with the little actors. So the little actor's like, "Oh my God, he actually really did touch me," and they're like, "We gotta kill this movie.
We gotta kill this movie."
Yeah.
The actor playing.
Somebody just did some.
That guy had a Hemi.
Somebody just did some pilling out.
Yes, they're remaking Roadhouse, Jamie, with Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Seriously.
I don't.
But people think he's gonna be Dylan, but Maggie Gyllenhaal is gonna be Dylan. They're changing it's gonna be, what do you call those, gender fluid movies now?
Yeah.
Gender fluid.
I don't believe any of the stuff you just told me.
Jamie, could you look that up?
She's probably already looking that up because she probably doesn't believe you either.
And it's gonna be a Hulu exclusive.
Yeah. Now I know it's not real.
Man. Isn't that just electrolytes? Because I'm feeling my gender fluids a little low.
Electrolytes, yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, man. I love this movie. You said you saw this twice in the theaters.
And both times I was shocked.
You know what's
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, holy shit.
What's kind of weird is I don't remember if I saw this in the theater or not, which is really kind of weird for me. But because I feel like I've seen it so many times, I literally can't remember if I saw it in the theater, which is really weird. So I probably didn't see it in the theater, or I would probably remember that. But yeah, man, it's got some. It's got some.
It has every horror
like,
movie monster ever put in any movie ever made.
Yeah, and it's got like every archetype of every, the virgin, the athlete, the smart guy, the stoner, or the fool, whatever. They've got like every one of those in there. Jamie says the new Roadhouse comes out in 2023, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. What?
If this mic wasn't attached, I would drop it.
I thought you were serious when you said they were remaking Roadhouse, because that's not a big thing, and I feel like I've heard that.
Sam was the guy that had the ring around his neck, and he was going to the mountain, right? To drop it in the volcano? Oh, no, that was his friend. Frodo was the one.
Yeah, maybe. Was that Sam Elliott's character? I have no idea. That's who Jake Gyllenhaal's going to be? I don't know who Sam was in that movie. I cannot remember at all. I know it's not Dylan. Maybe Sam's just like some guy behind the bar. Maybe that's the one that, I don't know.
Maybe he's playing the blind guitar player, country singer.
That'd be great. Maybe he's just playing like
he ruined that
Spider-Man or something.
BTW, the blind, terrible actor.
He's not an actor.
Exactly.
He's a guitar player.
That's what I'm telling you. You would figure since he's blind, his other senses would kick in to take over, but he's just horrible.
They did.
He's a horrible
His guitar
actor.
playing senses.
Horrible.
Yeah, this thing was a good movie. I loved it. I still love it. I still watch it every once in a while. I don't have a huge DVD collection, but this is one of them.
The only thing that ruined this movie for me, right?
Somebody had a woman had red hair.
No.
I assumed like it would be somebody having red hair ruined it for you.
The guy that played Marty, the stoner.
Yeah.
I thought he was terrible. He was a terrible stoner.
You didn't think he was good?
No, he sucked. I'm like
he was bad at being a stoner?
Yes, terrible. He was the fool.
Yeah.
And he was bad. He ruined the movie for me. Until the third part of the movie where he becomes the hero. Because you think fucking Thor is the hero the whole movie, and then that motherfucker just dies out of the blue.
That's crazy.
And the fool becomes a hero, and that's when you're like, all right, he's not stoned anymore, so he can act normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, when his stone character sucks. That's the only thing that ruined this movie's damn near perfect, but he ruined it. I
thought his acting was kind of weird. Like it seemed a little bit weird. But I think that overall everybody's else acting I think was really good. Do you think it was just he didn't seem like he was stoned? Do you think that's what it was? Or you didn't like how he talked?
They hired professional people to teach him how to be a stoner.
I saw that in the extras.
They taught him how to roll joints.
Yeah.
They told him how to properly smoke a bong. Even the bong at the beginning of the movie, it was a prototype. It actually worked. $5,000 they spent on that prototype.
To make that thing?
$5,000. What the fuck? Movies don't... Dude, that's why they went bankrupt.
Because they're like, Dude, I could have made that in my backyard for like $20.
Just like the movie, I'm not gonna say the movie or the whatever, but the movie Lyrics working on right now. She tells me like they don't give a fuck. They don't care.
Oh, money wise?
Yeah, money wise. $4 million an episode. That's fucking ridiculous.
Somebody has to there has to be a controller that has all that itemized out, but that's the budget they give it. So then they're actually, if they're like, hey, you have, like this movie, you have $30 million to spend and they're only up to 20 million, they're going to spend the other 10.
Yeah, that's why Lyrics
they're not coming in under budget.
Lyrics like, guess what I ate today?
Right? Wagyu nachos.
Wagyu beef nachos. I'm like, what the fuck?
I just want regular, Taco
Bell nachos. I'd be happy with, the nacho Ritas, or what are they called?
Bel Grandes. I just want some Bel Grandes.
Yeah, fucking Wagyu beef nachos and...
Yeah.
Fucking gold rim shots of fucking Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. So this movie is a basic teens go out for the weekend, go to a cabin, bad things happen, and they try to overcome it.
It's a typical slasher movie, but with crazy undertones.
Yeah,
and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're like, so it starts off with them meeting at their apartment, at the girl's apartment. Kristen Connolly. No, she's a virgin.
It was one of their apartments. I assumed
I thought it was the blonde girl.
Okay.
And right away you notice something's wrong because she dyed her hair blonde. And that's what she says. Please say something about my hair before I become self-conscious. And then later on the fool's like, you never dyed your hair. You're not like this.
Yeah.
And they're there, they meet up, they're going to go to this cabin. One of them, his uncle is the owner of the cabin.
Yeah.
And...
cousin or something. It's cousin, I think.
Well, not even before that, at the very beginning, they wanted to make the movie where you're like, are we in the right movie? Because it starts out with Richard Jenkins. And who's the friend Bradley? He's you see him in all kinds of shit, but you never really. He's one of those guys.
Steve and Gary.
They're there and they're talking about. They're just talking about yeah, she's pregnant. We're gonna have to baby-proof all the cabinets, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
She's already put baby-proof stuff, on the cabinets. It's like,
you know how hard it is to get goddamn glass out of the cabinet to get some water. And then all of a sudden, a girl comes up to him and is like, Stockholm failed. Yeah.
And he's like, you can never trust the Swedes.
You can never trust the Swedes. And you find out Korea failed. Was it Korea?
Not yet. It hadn't.
That hadn't failed yet. Yeah, that's right. And then all of a sudden, it just blasts Cabin in the Woods on the screen. It scares the living shit out of you.
Huge,
so loud.
bold font.
Red
it's like,
font.
Yeah.
Because it just ends in them going, are you even listening to me?
Yeah.
That's what it ends, because they're in the golf cart. It's so funny. So it just throws it on the screen and it scares the shit out of you. And then it goes to them jerking around at the apartment. Chris Hemsworth shows up and
it kind of sets the
tone where you're like, all right, bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
Even though Chris Hemsworth looks like he's fucking 42.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sets it right away. You have you can tell their archetype is set really quick. There's the one girl who's all like, well, I'm just going to take my books with me to study. And then the one guy's got a football, and the other girl's got her hair dyed, oh, I dyed my hair. And
Jesse Williams, he plays a scholar. And I think I told you, when I used to go to Spurs games, I would be on the not the sidelines, but right behind the thing where the little hole is where they throw that ball in. I was there.
Hoopty loop.
And they're college kids, not high school. I don't know what I was thinking. I meant college. But he still does look 42.
Yeah.
And it was him. He was a commentator.
I didn't see anything about that anywhere at all.
That was him, dude.
I tried to look that up. I can't find anything.
And I even told, you know what? I didn't know. You know what? I didn't see him personally. It was on TV. I was like, I did the whole Leonardo DiCaprio. I was like, oh shit, that's him. That's the dude from Cabin in the Woods. It is him. I know it was him.
I don't know. I couldn't find anything about that. Nothing about him ever living in Texas.
He didn't say he was living here.
Nothing about him ever working for a sports ball team. It did say he's friends with a lot of sports ballers.
Sports ballers?
Yeah.
Like rich people that...
The people that do that thing at the hole.
And then when they leave, they wind up all taking off. The fool shows up with his fucking crazy $5,000 promo bong. Or what is it called? What did they say?
Yeah. The bong. The cup bong. The
cup bong. He was like, what? I have no such thing. Like, he's just... It's not cool, dude. His acting's weird, like you said.
Yeah.
And when they leave, they zoom out, them taking off in their fucking RV, which is a throwback to The Hills Have Eyes. They pull back, and there's a fucking guy in a walkie
on the roof.
Saying the birds have
left the nest or something. Yeah.
And that's what I say now whenever. Have you ever heard me say it? The birds are in the nest. I say that a lot.
That's where you got it from?
Yes, that's where I got it from.
Yeah, so the cast is really good. I think the lead character Dana, she's like the college, the virgin, the pure one that's like just wants to study and doesn't really want to go away for the weekend.
Why is she top cast?
Because she's the last girl.
She's the final girl.
She's the final girl. She's the last girl that I would have picked for this movie. No, I'm just kidding.
So why wouldn't Marty be up there too?
Because he's a crappy stoner that you don't like.
It's not that I don't like him. His stoner acting was off.
I've never really seen her in anything other than The Bay.
Oh, The Bay was good, dude.
Yeah, she was like one of the characters in that. And Barry Levinson film. She was in that, and that's the only thing I remember her in at all. I kind of looked at her IMDb, and I was like, after I looked through, I was like, yep, that's the only thing I've seen with her in it. Chris Hemsworth, obviously, freaking Thor. You don't have to. He's been in like everything. He's like the white version of the guy that plays Aquaman.
He's in a white?
Huh? Who? Aquaman?
Yeah.
I don't think so. He's Dothraki.
Isn't that... They're like Klingons, right?
I think so. And then Anna Hutchinson that plays kind of the ditzy blonde girl.
Jules. She's the whore.
Yeah. Dude, I haven't seen one other movie she's in. Nothing. I can't say anything about her whatsoever outside this movie. I know nothing about her.
That's what happens when they cast you as a whore.
I've never...
You don't get any other movie.
Well, I mean, she's in a ton of movies, just not movies I watch. And then your guy Jesse Holden, who's like supposed to be the scholar guy, but they both kind of just seem like jocks to me. But they like try to give him like some lines where he's like talking about scholarly shit. But so he's the he was like one of the main characters in Grey's Anatomy. But
never seen it.
But other than that, nothing. I don't know nothing about him other than you claim that he's a Spurs fan or announcer. Then, yeah, Stephen Gary Richard Jenkins, he has been in a ton. He's one of those actors that, like, he does have some major roles, but he also has, like, a ton of kind of, like, roles where he's, like this, where he's like a small. I mean, this is a pretty small role in the scheme of the movie, but like he was Giles in Shape of Water. He was.
He did such a great job.
Yeah, I know.
He should have been nominated for supporting.
He was the dad in Step Brothers. He's in the new Dahmer series, which I haven't seen.
He plays the dad, right?
Yeah. He plays his dad. He's in.
He's also in
Nightmare Alley.
This is the reason why I like this movie, and you don't like it because of another actress that's in there, but he's the keeper, the vampire keeper, and Let Me In.
Oh yeah, he's like,
and that's the reason I like it, because man, you can tell he's just fucking. He does such a good job. He's just tired. He knows he fucked up by being with her, and just having to go out and fucking hang up people by their feet and stab them in the throat and fucking bleed them out for her. Yeah, I still think you should give it a chance.
He's also in Bone Tomahawk, which you haven't seen yet, right?
I saw the beginning.
Dude, you really need. That movie gets brutal.
Yeah, I know, but
brutal, but with a good story too.
Yeah, I got all the way up to where they take off to go find the girl.
That's when it gets brutal. It gets crazy after that part.
I don't really care for horror westerns, and I don't like the way they portray Native Americans.
You know how they
it would be more like that. Right?
You know how they Art the Clown cuts the girl in half, and people are like, "Oh, that's gross." They do it in Bone Tomahawk, and it's even worse.
I'm not about gore, dog. It's not my thing.
But it's also a good story. There's sacrifice. There's love. There's redemption.
No, I need to watch it. I just haven't finished it.
Man, it's good, and it's Kurt Russell. It's
With
Kurt Russell, and it's also
fucking mustache,
and also Jameson Newlander's in that one. One of the Frog Brothers. He's one of the townsfolk.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I get that one and Aliens versus Cowboys mixed up.
They are completely different.
No. On who's in the movie.
Okay. And then Steve, the guy that plays Steve, Bradley Whitford, that guy is the main bad guy in Get Out, and he's also the role. I like him because he's just so like laid back when he acts. Yeah, man. The role that I like him the best in, that like every time I see him, that like it pops in my head, it's not Get Out. It's Billy Madison. Remember, he was the guy who, that if Billy Madison didn't pass school, then he would get to run the company. Eric, that was his name. Yeah, that's what I always think of whenever I see that guy. Is like, even when I see him in Cabin in the Woods, I think about Billy Madison.
Even when in this movie, when he knows he's about to die.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, come on, man!" Yeah, that's the best fucking scene.
Yeah, that dude is the whole. So basically, they get these kids to go to the woods because they're trying to sacrifice them, but there's rules to the sacrifice because it's to appease some ancient gods, and they need those kids to pick their own demise. So they give them a setup where whatever they pick, that's what's going to come try to kill them all.
Yeah, that's a fucking great scene. Out of nowhere, the fucking cellar door, Evil Dead reference.
Dude, it totally is an Evil Dead reference. It pops up just like...
It fucking slams open, and they're like, everybody's like, what the fuck? So they go down there, and there's everything is just covered with knickknacks and toys, and so they start looking around, and the fool, he's all, "Why are we touching this?"
Yeah, he's like actually the one who's
he's the only
smart.
one. He's the only one. The stoner is the only one that has common sense.
Yeah.
And then right when people are about to start turning shit and flipping through shit and put on necklaces, Dana starts reading out of a book.
And Marty's the one who's like, I have to put my foot down. Do not read the Latin.
Please stop reading the Latin. And right when that happens, you hear something, and he's all, did y'all hear that? Like, there's like, you hear like shit talking in the background. And that's what they picked. And everybody in the fucking control room's like, yeah, zombies.
Yeah, so they had zombies. They have a fucking
pool.
pool going for what they're gonna pick for as their demise, and so
And if you pause that scene and you can read the board,
all those creatures are at the end.
Daddy Glitter's correct.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. If you're like Carlos, you forget everything in like 5 days, and you could just watch it every 5 days.
Yeah, I'm like a fucking goldfish. I already told you. See, I already forgot I said I'm a goldfish.
So, yeah, I mean...
Sorry I got sick and almost died, but Doug likes to just throw that in my face.
There's also...
It's cool.
Sigourney Weaver's in it. She kind of like... The first time I saw it, I was like, whoa, because I didn't know she was in it. You know, she just all of a sudden pops up.
Here's all that... You should read what's on that board.
Amy Acker is like one of the techs, and she was from she played Fred in the Angel Buffy series. Well, in Angel only, not in Buffy.
I don't know who that is.
And then she was the one, like the girl who came up to him and was talking to him, the woman that was like...
No, I don't know who the character is in Angel.
Oh, okay. And then Tom Lennox, the intern guy, who was like, but I picked zombies, and they're like, but these aren't
you
zombies.
picked zombies. They picked redneck
murder zombie family or something. Yeah. And so that guy was he was in Angel and Buffy as this kind of weird character.
Zombie redneck torture family.
Yeah, zombie redneck torture family. Yeah, clowns, witches, zombies, wraiths, mutants, aliens, sexy witches, molesting tree, deadites.
That's all from Evil Dead. Those two are from Evil Dead.
Yeah. Dismemberment goblins, sugar plum fairy, merman. So that's the one he wanted.
He's like, man, come on.
Yeah. That's the one that Steve wanted.
He almost blew the horn.
Yeah.
The seashell.
Which would have picked the...
Yeah, he was almost about to do it when, like I'm saying, everybody was about to put shit on. And he was like, man, did you see that? And he was like, I know. That's his wish. That's his wish, is to see the merman. And then he tells him, I mean, they're cool, but hell to clean up.
Yeah.
And you don't know why.
Yeah.
Why that is.
Yeah. So, that's pretty much, other than the only other character that's really noticeable out of everybody is like the Mordecai character, the harbinger, who's like, you don't want to go down there, you know, that guy. He's been in a decent amount of stuff. He was one of the characters in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, that Coen movie that came out like last year, I think. 2 years ago.
Dude, I finally saw that. That was really good.
It is so good. It's so
good. Really good.
It's a good anthology.
Yeah, when they run into the Harbor Freight guy, he tells them, you and your whore, like,
yeah,
he
that
like,
whore.
He knows, yeah. Like, he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's psychotic. They call it, or he calls them. The children have
yeah, dude.
And they have him on speakerphone.
And they're like all laughing at him.
And he goes, you're mocking me and you don't believe.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't believe.
Yeah, he's a true believer for sure. But yeah, they get to the cabin. Everything's fine, but then like Jewel starts acting all like ditzy and weird and you know, the only person that doesn't change, I think, during it, well, no, Dana doesn't really change because they don't have to do anything to her to be like pure. And then, but for like Chris Hemsworth, like they released like pheromones in the air to make him all like,
he's all horny.
Yeah. And then like they had put stuff in her hair dye to make her be all ditzy. And then they put stuff...
and horny, too. Like,
yeah.
She starts dancing around and making out with the wolf head.
Yeah, and people are like, what is going on with you? This isn't you.
Yeah, and Marty's like, this isn't like you. Like, what's wrong with you? You're dancing around. I dated you. And, like, they dated a while back. So you know something's up.
Yeah, so they kind of... And the house is just really creepy. There's, like... weird one-way mirror that they found where you could see into one of the rooms. There's like a painting that's like
shows them gutting
like,
people and stuff.
gutting animals and people and stuff. And then like
the scholar finds the virgin changing, and he's all like, oh, he closes his eyes and he bangs, hold up. And then you can switch rooms, and then he goes next door and he starts taking off his shirt and he's all ripped, and she's all like oogling him, and I'm like, you're doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah. So then it just takes a turn for the worse from there. The murders start happening. You don't know why really yet. There's like somebody doing, there's a weird control room that's watching everything.
Yeah, the Chris Hemsworth and the whore go out
Kurt
to
and
the
Jules.
woods. Go out to the woods, which was not filmed. It was filmed on a soundstage. Nothing was filmed outside, just the lake scene. And they release more pheromones because she doesn't want to screw out there. So they release these pheromones. There's like pheromones coming out to the grass. And she gets all into it. And
just like in true horror trope fashion, as soon as the boobs come out,
fucking out comes a saw blade.
Yeah. So like that's a pretty good murder scene. I think the first thing that happens is she's laying on the ground and like a knife goes in her hand.
Yeah,
right?
that shit looks good. The makeup's pretty good.
The makeup is great. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, we're freezing up. Something's going on. Okay. We had a weird freezing moment there. So yeah, the makeup looks great on this thing. It was AFX Studios. Their whole team did all the makeup. Who is David Anderson, and his dad was also his dad was also Wes Craven, one of Wes Craven's guys. We actually saw about him when we were watching, I think, the special features on Serpent and the Rainbow, I think. He's one of the guys who was like, oh, I was just a kid, and then I married Heather Langenkamp, that guy. That's him. He's the one that did all the special effects on this thing, or his company. And, man, I watched some interviews with him, and it's just insane. The amount of stuff they did for this movie.
She had to go by a pseudonym, so she wouldn't be on the screen as. Do you know that?
Who?
Heather. She's part of it too.
She's in this?
Not as an actor, but she helped with the makeup.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Heather L. Anderson for production, so people wouldn't be, hey, what's up?
That's crazy. Yeah,
she did the makeup for this too.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
I had no idea. I read it, I was like, oh shit.
The makeup, just creating the creatures, they said it took a full team doing, I think he said 6 weeks to do all the makeup for this thing, and to kind of build the creatures, and that's like a full team working around the clock. That entire end scene of the elevators and stuff, that shit is like 80-90% real. Like the guys that are being picked up and thrown around, that's really guys on wires
and stuff.
Like people being pulled into the elevators, ripped out of the elevators, like all that stuff. That was like the coolest thing to me is, hey, Lyric, that was like one of the coolest things to me. It was like how they did all of that, and then they just filled in with some CGI instead of
even the unicorn was real.
Dude, the unicorn, that's pretty cool. Like they had like this crazy head they made that like because they were like, they didn't want us to, we couldn't attach anything to the horse. We couldn't do anything to hurt the horse. So like there's a horse, but then whenever, the unicorn, but then whenever it gets up close,
dude, imagine
that's a fake head and it looks so real.
Imagine way back when they do like westerns and huge epic movies, how many horses would die, and they'd be like, oh, just drag them off to the side, get another one in here. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, the makeup was great. Like it was seeing that and seeing how much of it was actual practical effect. The one guy, I'm going to look up, see what his name was, because it was so funny to me. Oh, I didn't write it down. But there was like the guy who, the pinhead type guy. And his name in the credits is pretty funny, but I didn't write it down stupidly. But, Fornicus, Lord of Bondage and Pain.
Oh, yeah. I wrote that down. You found it.
Everything else is like, Merman, blah, blah, blah. And his is like, Fornicus, Lord of Bondage and Pain. And I'm like, that is just a straight
I wonder how much it costs to change names.
I don't know.
That'd
be good if you were named
One
Fornicus.
thing I found really interesting, so the scene where they're all in the water, who's the only one that doesn't jump in?
The virgin girl, he shoves her in.
No, but who's the one that does not get wet at all?
Oh, the stoner guy?
Marty. You know why?
Why?
Because he was fucking ripped. He was ripped in real life. Like, he's like crazy ripped, and they were like, we can't have you taking off your clothes and jumping in the water because you're going to ruin the nerdy stoner effect. Like, seriously.
That's weird. I didn't know that.
So they were like, just leave your clothes on and don't get in the water. That's crazy, right? I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, it's great.
Well, he may not know how to act, but he knows how to
fucking work out.
Yeah.
They even had one of the monsters that they I guess you can see it somewhere. Kevin. There's a monster, a person named Kevin in one of the cages.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know.
Why is he named Kevin?
I don't know.
He's after the guy from Sin City. Elijah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So the cage scene.
60 different types of creatures.
Dude, the cage scene was insane. So for anyone who hadn't seen it, the two remaining people who don't die they find an elevator. And they get in it, and it takes them down into like this subterranean world. But then there's like all these cubes that are just moving around. The effects team said that was one of the hardest things to do because you have to that's all CGI. The cubes are CGI that are looking like they're all moving around, but like from all different depths and angles, and they're just constantly moving. So they said that was like kind of a nightmare programming that algorithm. But every single cube has something in it. And most of them are practical effects where they had multiple different size cubes and they would shove people in them to make them look different sizes. And then that's what they inserted into the, the grid.
Flying purple people eater.
Oh my God. It's like everything. It's like every monster you can ever imagine. The video game Left 4 Dead was supposed to do a crossover with this movie. And so some of those monsters are in the cages at that point. That never happened because
the werewolf is fucking crazy too.
Yeah.
It's good makeup.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a decent werewolf.
Yeah.
And the guy who played the werewolf actually played the werewolf in Underworld.
Oh yeah.
One of the main werewolves in
That's
Underworld.
Crazy. Yeah,
Underworld
they really
Evolution, Underworld Awakening. So they're like, hey, let's get this.
Yeah, they really went.
He knows how to act like a werewolf already.
Yeah, they really went really, really far on doing that stuff. But yeah, the movie got shelved for 2 years because MGM went bankrupt. I don't know, for a few years.
Yeah, probably 2, more like 2.
And it got shelved because they went bankrupt, and it ended up getting picked up.
They lost hope. They were like, it's never gonna see.
We're not gonna release this. How long was it till it got released? I mean,
12.
who was it that picked it up?
Lionsgate.
Yeah, so they shelved that and Red Dawn, which is like kind of crazy to think about. We just shelved 2 Chris Hemsworth movies. Like, that could have, if those wouldn't have come out, like, who knows if his career would ever even.
No, but Thor came out finally because he was
before these did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So it pretty much came out about the same time as Thor. So Thor took off because I remember being like,
and that's why they're like, we should release these.
I remember being like, wow, why would he make this horror movie? But then I found out it was shelved.
Okay.
So that's why it became a big hit too.
Yeah.
So Thor saved their asses.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be in 3D. And they bitched and were like, dude, and then it went bankrupt, so they didn't get to make it in 3D.
Yeah, how does a movie studio go bankrupt?
It was MGM, right?
Yeah.
It's
You know
crazy.
how? Just throwing money. Wagyu beef nachos.
Wagyu beef nachos.
That's how they go bankrupt. Yeah, there's like really, really cool things like whoa,
What the
that's some
hell's going
craziness.
on?
That's all the monsters from the movie, I guess.
Oh, I get what she did there.
Man, there was just so many good monsters. But like also, just the whole story and just them trying to, it's weird because in reality, at the very end, you're like, well, I guess they should have died, but because the entire world ends.
There's other monsters that weren't listed on the whiteboard, but you can see them. There's a giant tarantula, 2 wolves, large frog, giant centipede, an obese man.
Oh.
2 different blob-like creatures.
There's
a killer robot. You can see the killer robot. He's fucking hacking everybody to pieces with his saws. And the best one, a trio of KKK members.
Dude. That was like weird. I was like,
that's funny. They're fucking monsters. They're gonna put them as monsters.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah.
And you always hear the whole movie. You hear about the what is her title? The main girl of the whole.
Dana. Oh, like the director?
The director. I couldn't remember what she was. And at the end, you find out who it is, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!" It's fucking Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, you hear her voice, and at first, so you know it's her, but you don't know that you're gonna actually see her show up.
It was supposed to be Bruce Campbell.
Was gonna be the director,
but he had a scheduling conflict. So
that's like one day of shooting for him.
Dude, he's a busy man, dude. Maybe he was like, "How many lines is it?" I'm busy.
I mean, I would have liked it if it was him.
And then after Bruce Campbell, they were like, "Well, let's get Jamie Lee Curtis," and then they settled on
Wow, Weaver. That's rough. Third choice.
No, it was a toss up between Jamie Lee, so she won out.
Second choice. Yeah, the director Drew Goddard. He co-wrote this with Josh Wheaton, who was the one of the producers, and
they locked themselves in a hotel room for 3 days, ordered a bunch of wine and fancy nuts, and wrote this in 3 days.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know Drew Goddard was one of his writers on Buffy and Angel. He'd worked with him before, so
here we go.
I think that probably anytime you've worked on a show like Angel or Buffy, you definitely have to build a great bond because like that show is so. I mean, it's so good that they're remaking Buffy. They're rebooting it next year. It's already in production.
How did you do that? You did it wrong. You meant this way. You're supposed to do that.
No, this is what the team is like on
a great bond between them two.
This is what the team was like on Buffy and Angel, except for Charisma Carpenter. She was like out here like this.
I don't know who that is.
That's the one. Familiar. That's the one that he just wrote off during Angel because they just had so many conflicts. No. They had problems with each other apparently. She came back from having a baby.
Josh Whedon? Mm-hmm. Of course, he does that when people say, "It's hot in here. You're fired."
He came back. She came back from having a baby, and he was like, she was supposed to be like the hot one, and he was like, "You're fat."
I mean, the more you talk about it, I mean, he is a fucking director.
I know.
He's running the show. It's getting good ratings. She comes back and she's like 50 pounds heavier. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You got to go.
That's whenever he brought in
Scottish accent. He's got to go.
That's when he brought in Amy Acker.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that is either. But yeah, he wrote her off. He basically put her in a coma for like months on the show, so they would just reference her.
Didn't show her?
They didn't show her. They would reference her as being in the coma.
That's fucking hard.
And then like she came back for one last season for like one episode for like just a few minutes, really. Like for when she finally actually died. They're like, she's out of the coma. But really she wasn't out of the coma, she was dead. I mean, you're out of a coma when you're dead, so technically, yeah, she was out of the coma. But yeah, he like just like literally, it's like you go in one day, she's in the show. The next day, it's like, oh, she's in a coma, and you don't even see him. Like they're like, oh, we moved her to a different facility. Like you just don't.
She's up in
Yeah,
she's up there in New York, Syracuse somewhere.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, we moved her to a different facility. She's gone. I don't know. Yeah, there was the zombie redneck family. They're called the Buckners or Buckners.
Buckners, I think.
The Buckners. Man, they were great.
Buckner.
They were like just like slow walking, hunting them down. But
Patience Buckner, Matthew Buckner, Father Buckner, and Ronald, the faculty intern. I just read
when they're reading.
You know the Patience, she was a little girl in Silent Hill, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
and you can tell. I was like, man, she looks so familiar. And
she's actually been in a lot. But when they're reading from the diary, it's all like, what did she say? She goes, she's reading from the diary that brings them to the
Father done put me in the dark room.
Father done put me in the dark room, and then it said something about like when Father gets his what's it? Oh my God, I can't remember how he said it, but it's like when he gets his
hard place or something.
No,
it's so
it
weird.
says his like his marriage. Oh my God. Oh yeah, his husband bulge.
Bulge.
When he gets his husband bulge, and then it's like, Daddy got his husband bulge for me or something like that, and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
And you can see what's his name. He's like, what the fuck are you reading? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but they like whenever the first kill happens. And one of the Buckners stabs Jewel in the hand, and it's just like, ah! Like it just changes, you know. And Chris Hemsworth's character Kurt gets up and tries to run away, I guess, and or he does run away. He's like, you know, she's dead, but like she tries to run, and when they try to run, he like has basically a bear trap that's on a chain, and he like swirls it and throws it and like catches the back. Oh my God, it's so cool. It's so good.
And then they is she laying down when they cut off her head?
Yeah, but they don't show.
And then he runs to the fucking cabin, and he's all like, "Where is she? Where is she? She's gone."
Yeah.
What do you mean she's gone? And they open the door, and he's fucking there.
Yeah.
Holding her head, and he throws it. And it's all rolling on the ground, and that shit looks so good.
Yeah, that was good. Those zombies looked really good.
Yeah, it took like 6 hours.
Dude, that was
the
good.
Makeup on. Full coverage, like.
That was really good makeup. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like, for the other special effects thing that was really crazy is like the very end, whenever the hand comes out and like, you know, crushes, like that was, they did like all this crazy stuff with miniatures combined with CGI combined with a real set. Like it was like just this crazy team, but it was really cool watching the guys who filmed the miniatures, because all those trees were miniatures that like flew out, and the dust and all that stuff. Well, that was all real. Like they like dusted the trees and made them. I just wish the
hand would have looked a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean the hand was like full on CGI, but everything around it, like the cabin, all that stuff was all fake. Like they blew dust up into the air. I mean, it was all real. They like blew dust up in the air and had it on the trees. And yeah, the extras are really cool looking at that stuff. How all that worked. But
what god was it?
The god that was going to kill everyone?
Yeah, the god that comes out at the end.
No, that's what I said. The god that kills everyone.
I know, yeah. What god is it?
Kill everyone god?
It was Kronos.
Oh, okay.
I wish it would have been tentacles.
Well, so they actually, that's funny you say that, because that was actually originally one of their ideas, was something about tentacles, but yeah, that would have been cool. Somebody in the extras would say it said something about tentacles as well.
Yeah, the Greek Titan god. You play
God of War?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one they're trying to get to kill, right? Oh no, he's the main character, right?
That's supposed to be him, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But he's little in that game. He's like this big. And you got to fight everybody. You can't just
he's
crush
that
him.
big in your TV.
Yeah.
On my TV, he's like
18 feet tall.
He's like this big.
Yeah.
Like that big.
Well, I'm still rocking 27-inch.
Yeah, you are.
27-inch. 320, baby.
This is the second film where Sigourney Weaver pops out at the end. What was the other one?
You mean as a cameo?
Yeah.
Or whatever you would call it? It's not really a cameo. The other one would be... I don't know.
Paul.
Oh, dang it. And she's like the same character, basically.
Yeah, she's the director.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, man. Husband bulges.
Husband bulges. Oh, and so we need to get to the merman.
Oh, yeah. So, basically, it's a battle for their life.
Everybody's dying. Everybody's dying in the facility.
You think they're going to get out. They get in the... Jules is dead. They all jump in the truck. They're, like, taking off. They get to a certain part, and this cave they'd gone through is crushed. So Kurt is like, I can get across this. I've jumped bigger gaps. And he's like, he gets his motorcycle out, and he's like, I'm going to jump this, go and get help. And this was one of the, like, things when I first saw it was like, it's just a surprise, and it, like, made me laugh as, you know, he's, like, trying to take off.
He's all like, fuck yeah, unload the bike. And he's all flying. He's going to make it, and boom! And he fucking just dies.
And he hits, like, an invisible...
It was so funny watching that in the theater, because you just hear everybody go, oh, shit.
And laugh. Yeah, and he, like, tumbles down, and as he's tumbling, it's, like, lighting up the thing.
Yeah, because he's
like,
all fucked up.
Man, it's just such good effects. Like, everything's going so good.
So they take off, and a spear comes to the back of fucking the scholar's throat.
Yeah, he's done.
He's done now.
So all that was left... His kill was very... it was unexpected, but it was, like... It was very, like, just... okay, wow, that was done. You know?
So they don't show the full dying, but on their screens it looks like he died.
Yeah, he gets dragged away.
They don't show the virgin dying, but they cut it off because she's on the by the lake on the pier.
Yeah,
getting fucked up by one of the zombies. What they don't see.
Yeah, so they're all celebrating.
She's about to die. He's about to fuck her up and kill her. And all of a sudden, something comes behind him, the zombie, and fucks him up. And you realize, oh shit, he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's alive. Marty's alive. So he's like, come with me. I found an elevator. So that's when he's like, we should go down. And she's like, should we go down? So they go down, and they're all celebrating because they're like, yeah, we did it. And then the prop people that are supposed to do the explosion and stuff, he was like, man, it's a good thing. Y'all almost messed up. They almost escaped. And he goes, that wasn't us. And right when he says that, the telephone rings. And he's like, what? And they find out that they're still alive. And you can kind of see that's happening whenever Marty was supposed to die, the fool, and they do the blood. There's a rumble. It's the god saying, he's not dead.
Oh,
but
I didn't see that.
you're still doing this blood. Like, they know what the hell's going on. So they go and that's when they release all the creatures. And Sigourney Weaver comes out and tells them the whole story. Says, we've been appeasing the gods for centuries. And everybody else, they didn't do it. Like Sweden.
Everybody failed.
None of them died. Y'all two have to die to save the world.
Yeah, or at least Marty has to die.
Oh yeah, because the virgin
is doesn't have to die, but Marty has to die. And so she's like literally gives a gun to Jules, and it's like, you need to kill him, and she's about to kill him, and then all of a sudden, huh?
Right.
Dana, yeah. Yeah, not Jewel, sorry. So Dana's about to kill him, and that's when the like werewolf creeps up behind her. And Marty could have warned her, but he's like, well, I don't want to get shot. And she like gets bit. Like, oh man, it was so good. That werewolf was really good.
Yeah, it's a crazy psycho werewolf.
Yeah. And then Marty picks up the gun, shoots the werewolf a bunch, but yeah, that when they get out of the cabin, they go into these elevators and they see all these crazy things, and they're like, we picked the way we were going to die, because she sees something that reminds her of something in the basement, and they're like, they get into this little holding room, and they basically have there's a button to release all the cages, and they just hit it, and it's like that's when the monsters
hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
So everybody's trying to escape, everybody's trying to hide. Well, Steve, the one that was talking about the merman, he gets injured and he's on the ground, and all of a sudden you hear like some flopping.
Yeah.
You hear some flopping around, and out of the shadows, there's a fucking merman on the ground.
And it's the most terrifying thing ever.
Like, that's the way a fucking mermaid should look like.
Dude, that thing is terrifying.
So that's when he goes, oh, come on. And it fucking attacks him. And the blood coming out of the blowhole was a last minute ad. They were like, we got to make this happen. That scene was 9 minutes long of blood just shooting out of his blowhole.
Oh, I saw the extras. It was awesome.
And they were like, that's why he said cleanup's a hell, cleanup's fucking terror. So, yeah, I wish they would have, used that more.
So, if you haven't watched the extras yet, you should. There's like one set that's just all about special effects. So that elevator room was an actual room there that they were using, and it was white like that. So they would film a scene. So what they did is they filmed like, say like the robot coming out or whatever, or like whatever monster coming out and attacking some people. That was all filmed separately and then stitched together, and then the CGI was put in. So all that stuff happening right there was all practical. So every time they did those scenes, they were spraying blood everywhere all over the white room.
And they had to clean it.
And then they would have to clean it. They had a cleaning crew that came in to get all the fake blood out between takes.
Shot backs.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. And then it shows them trying to get the blowhole effect to work, and some of it was just like blast, but then there's one that's just like, they just show it. It's like a water hose just spraying. Like the final cut is really, really good of what ended up in the movie. But like when I remember I was watching it with M, and whenever it hit when it showed that part, I was just like, oh my God, look how much, it's just like making a puddle. Like, it's making like a full on, like a swimming pool worth of blood. It was so cool. It was cool that it was practical, because like at that point there was already a lot of movies doing CGI blood.
You know what I like? How they listed the body count. Did you see the body count?
No, where'd they do that?
69, right? But in the end, 6,873,741,054.
Oh, for the death count?
For the total
for the
population
whole Earth.
of the whole world.
Yeah.
And I like to think, man, I was in there. 2009. I'm one of the death counts.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. I think it's cool. And this is the only show that had complete and utter destruction of everyone. Everybody died. Like, nobody lived.
Like the Earth was gone.
Yeah. They took over the world. They destroyed the world, the gods.
Yeah.
So, I think that's cool.
That's cool. Man.
And at the end, when they're sitting there, they're sitting next to their own statues. Marty's sitting next to the fool, and Dana's sitting next to the virgin.
Yeah, because they had the rock carvings.
I thought that was a good scene, too.
Yeah.
Like you said, when they pull back, everything's rumbling and shit's falling, and they're just sitting there, like, waiting, and they pull back, and then, boom!
Yeah.
They're fucking dead. Like, they're gone.
Yeah. But yeah, this thing, it costs about, what do you think would have done if you were one of those at the end? Oh, I would have killed Marty.
No way, man. I would have been like, dude, let's check out this god.
You're dead instantly. You don't get to check anything out.
Yeah, but you could see something.
You see, like, quick. You would just see rock flying out from where his hand came in. A rock would hit you in the head.
I mean, I don't think you would die that fast. You'd get thrown and land on some.
And that hand was huge. It was bigger than the whole house, and they were right on top of it.
Yeah, I guess.
It would have been cool if you would have seen their bodies flying out. But yeah, I think they're... I mean, if it came down to like, oh, I gotta kill this person... But also at the same time, if I believed them 100%, I would probably be like, yeah, go ahead and shoot me, because I don't want the world to end. I would sacrifice myself, bro.
No way. I wouldn't.
That way I'd know you were still sleeping good at night, or at least in the morning for a little while.
Ain't nobody. Everybody's going to be taking a fucking dirt nap. I'd be like,
there was probably no dirt left. You probably blew the whole earth apart.
Yeah, I would think the earth just blew up.
Yeah. I mean,
and then he's like, fuck. Now he's just floating in space. Kronos. He's like this.
Yeah, he was asleep in the earth. Like, I don't know.
I guess he could take off to another planet. It was also included on 1001 movies you must watch before you die.
Whose list is that?
Steven Schneider.
From Schneider's Effects.
Schneider Ding Dongs.
Cool.
He the director.
Yeah.
He based this movie on living in New Mexico, growing up around office buildings, and because I guess his parents were. So he got a lot of the idea from that.
Like just like
the beginning, and everybody just working on computers, and
I do that sometimes.
And then dude, that's all I hear when I'm in the shop, and it's super quiet. All you hear.
I'm trying to make moves. I'm trying to make money moves all day.
And then you hear him backspacing.
It's because, like, I'm looking at my fingers, and I look at the screen, and I'm like, wow, I didn't type any of that right.
I wish I knew how to type.
I don't. I'm a fast poke.
I'm actually...
Pick and poke? What do they call it?
I mean, I'm decent. 250 words a minute. Is that good?
I think that's like amazing.
But none of them fucking spell anything.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes good.
So if I could just figure out how to make them spell something, I would be fucking the champ.
Yeah.
I think so. It won all these awards too, man.
I know. It won a ton of awards.
It won the fucking best screenplay Bram Stoker Award.
It won swept the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
British Fantasy Award. It won Fangoria Chainsaw for best screenplay, best supporting actor for The Stoner. I don't get it. Maybe because everybody that reads Fangoria is the Stoners. And they're like,
maybe.
Oh, God. Best wide release film. And best makeup creature effects.
Man, that's crazy. That's a huge...
It won the Golden Trailer Awards for best horror TV spot. It won the Kansas City Film Critics Circle for best science fiction fantasy horror film. It won the Saturn Award for best horror thriller film. And then it was nominated for everything else. It was nominated Toronto. It was nominated at San Diego Film, Online Film, Phoenix Film, Motion Picture Sound Editors nominated. Like, it just on the board, like.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh,
dude,
the
that would be
Sin
cool.
Awards. And we could just send people out some shitty little trophies. We'd be like, if you want, you can come get your trophy tattooed on you. We'll do it for free.
That is such a great idea, Jamie. I'm so glad you didn't fire her.
We gotta...
Oh, shit. I forgot these. I mean, what? Kapow! That's her fucking hitting us in the back of the head. Yeah. That is a great idea, dude.
Man. The Sin Awards. Welcome to the first...
annual.
No, it's not first annual. That doesn't make sense.
The
inaugural.
The inaugural?
Yeah.
Sounds like
there's no such thing as a first
Welcome
annual.
to the Nalga Sin Awards. Where's Mr. Monkey? He would have been laughing at that.
He went to bed.
Welcome to the Nalga Awards.
Yeah, so this thing, I mean, $70,000 in the box office, and it cost 30,000 to make. That's great for a movie.
Million or thousand?
30 million
You
to
said
make.
1,000, and you said 75.
30,100 to make.
They made it in Mexico.
And
There he is. I knew he would like the Nalga Simpson Awards.
What's the Nalga?
Butt cheek.
Oh.
Because you said inaugural, but it sounds like Nalga. It's a Mexican thing.
Yeah, that was it was a good movie. I love this movie.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's one of my favorite new horror. I call it new horror because anything like 2005, 2005 and up.
Yeah.
I still think like 2000 is still back in the 90s, I think. Yeah. But once you get up into 2005,
I think this is one of the 3 essential cabin horror movies. I think this one, Evil Dead, and I'm not splitting Evil Dead 1 or 2 or, remake, whatever you call it. Just like the original Evil Dead. Those movies, this movie, and then what do you think I think the third is? What do you think I think the third is?
Emmanuel in Wisconsin?
Nope.
I'm totally losing any cabin movies right now. I can't think of any.
Dale and Tucker.
Oh, fuck. Dude, that is the best top 3 cabin movie list ever.
It's good, right?
Hell yes. Dude, we gotta come for the Simpson Awards. We gotta fucking make a
Lifetime Cabin Achievement Award.
Goes out to Duck and Tail and Tucker versus Evil. Man, that's a great fucking movie.
Yeah,
supposedly they were making part 2.
Yeah. I wish they would.
That's a hard tie up. That's a hard tie for me between best horror comedy between that one and Shaun of the Dead.
Man, it's so good. Shaun of the Dead. I mean, I think Dale and Tucker. It's more comedy than horror. I mean, there's some great stuff in it, but like the horror aspect doesn't
it doesn't come out
kick
to the very
into
end.
like the end. I mean, it has a lot of like gore.
At the end.
It's good, but the
fucking the douchebag dude. He's such a douchebag.
Such a douchebag. That dude plays the best douchebag.
He channeled Christian Slater. No, not Christian Slater. From the douchebag from 16 Candles and.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's his name? Fuck. Dude, I'm telling you, my memory's shot.
But yeah, those
Ultron.
Ultron. Those are my
They
top
channeled
3.
him. They channeled him. He channeled him for that. He's such a douche. Yeah, that's a good top 3.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Is there any?
Well, I mean, there's like Cabin Fever.
There's Pumpkinhead.
So there. They actually got sued. Josh Wheaton got sued. Like everybody associated with the production, Lionsgate, Josh Wheaton, Drew Goddard. They all got their production companies all got sued because it was a guy who had written a book a few years before this that kind of had the same premise, but he sued him for $10 million. And it ended up getting thrown out of court because the judge, I guess, watched the movie and read the book and was like, I mean, and he was basically like, there's a premise of people going to a cabin and getting, some college students going to a cabin and getting killed. Like that's like, and I guess there were other things that were similar, but
come on,
they didn't think it was enough to.
Is there a secret facility underneath the cabin?
No, but it was like somebody pulling the strings. But they said there was enough different stuff that it didn't make sense for him to get. Not a movie. A guy had self-published a book, and he sued him. And I can't remember the name of the book right now. And I tried to look it up, and I didn't see it. It's like it's not published anymore. So, he gave up. I would be like, hey, you guys will like Cabin in the Woods? I wrote the fucking book that they based it on. I would just be saying that kind of shit. And people would be like, oh, I don't read books. That's what they would say.
What's it?
What's a book?
A book?
Can you make that into a movie and then I'll watch it? That's what they would say.
Book on tape?
Oh man,
dude, when I was in the hospital, dude, I couldn't do book on tape. I couldn't do it.
I love book on tape.
I don't know. I just can't.
I only like it when I'm driving though.
Maybe that. Maybe I should try that. But I can't do book on. I'd rather read.
What? Going back to this movie before we close it out here, I want to know like what was like your favorite part of this thing, or your favorite part, or favorite aspect.
Probably the merman scene.
The merman scene. Yeah, it's got some sweet irony in it.
Great irony. And the beginning, because you don't know what the
when
fuck's
you're just
going
like,
on.
what is happening? Yeah, that whenever that title card flashes and it's like it's so good. Like, yeah,
least favorite part
cool.
is the stoner.
Yeah,
stoner acting. Don't get me wrong, he's a good actor. He just didn't know how to act like a stoner.
They had their own brand of like rolling papers and stuff.
Yeah, they made everything for him. What was it called? Beaver?
I don't remember.
I just made that up.
Happy Joker or
Fucking
something.
Beaver brand rolling papers.
Yeah.
Smoke your beaver. That's what the motto was. Smoke your beaver. I just made that up too.
I think my favorite scene is just really that the whole death and destruction in the elevator room, especially like the first time it happens. It's like you just hear the elevator go ding, and it's just like just crazy. And I think what makes it my favorite scene is just knowing that that's all practical effects. I think that's just like huge.
That little girl too, man. The little girl with just a big face.
Oh, dude, the ballerina.
Teeth.
That was one of the ones they picked up downstairs. They nearly started making it turn.
Yeah, because she's holding the.
Dude,
the
some of those monsters were scary, man.
Dude, that sounds so much fun, being locked in a room with another man for 3 days, drinking wine and flying nuts. Making up.
Did they really write the whole thing in 3 days?
Yes.
That's insane.
And
where's my life gone? I could be writing one of these every 3 days.
Thinking up monsters.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
How about a little girl carrying a music box and her whole face is a row of teeth?
Yeah, I wish that MGM wouldn't have gone bankrupt and they would have done the Left 4 Dead collaboration video game. That would have been awesome.
Are you sure there's not a Left 4 Dead movie? Did you hear my voice?
I don't think there's a Left 4 Dead movie. I'm pretty sure I would already watch that.
I don't know.
That's like
Jamie,
one of my.
Did you look that up? I could have swore I read there was.
That's one of my favorite video games ever. Like, I have so many good memories playing that because it's like a 4-player game. So we used to get like 2 TVs and then we'd link our Xboxes together. And you could be playing.
I was thinking of Dead Island. Never mind, Jamie.
Yeah,
it's Dead Island. They made a movie about. They
might have been going to make a movie for Left 4 Dead, or maybe I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing anything about that.
I remember when Dead Island came out. I was so excited to go buy it and play it. I didn't like it,
dude. It's like somebody made a 30. Okay, I think the thing with like a lot of those video games, the horror video games, some of them are either take too long or there's too much shit to do. Like, I like Dead Island, the fighting, like I like the scenery's cool, like have those cabins that are on the water, like, but it's like I think there's too much driving around. The further you get in the game, the more you have to like drive from point A to point B to point A to point B, and you're kind of like, man, especially now today, whenever you can play a video game online and you go straight into like all you're playing against other live people and it's just straight action the whole time. The Left 4 Dead I thought was cool because it was one of those ones where you're having to kind of figure out puzzles, but you're doing it with other people playing. You know, you got so me and M's brothers would play it together, and she would like play with us, and so like you would have 4 people split between 2 screens, and you would all be working together, but you could be in the same room doing it. And so that was like pretty cool. You set your TVs up next to each other and you're having to solve these puzzles. And we would always play it on like crazy hard mode. So it would be like, you can't get bit, you're dead, you know, like, and you're having to like go and like help each other. It was just cool.
So that reminds me, I just laughed because when you said playing with M's brothers, I used to live off of Broadway in a fourplex, and my next door neighbor, right next door, like he was upstairs, he was right next door to me. He moved in, and he was this crazy fucking ex-Marine jock. And he was inviting all his friends over, and they were all crazy ex-Marine. They were all his friends, ex-Marine jocks. And I was just like, I don't associate with you people. I just don't. You know, I don't have anything in common with them. And one day they came home, and I was outside smoking a joint or something. They're like, oh, fuck, you know, what's up, man? Like, we hung out. And he was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? You should come over. We're just going to be hanging out. You should come over and drink a beer with us. And I was like, all right, cool. So I took my container, my bowl of weed. I had a bowl of weed. I used to smoke a lot of weed. I took a bowl of weed over there and I smoked them out. And all they were doing is they were all sitting on the fucking sofa playing Madden. And I thought that was fucking hilarious to me. Dude, they were like yelling and throwing shit. And the next time I was like, y'all come over to my place. And I had gotten some new weed in. And I was like, I don't play video games, but I just, you know, the new Metalocalypse came out. And they were like, we don't know what that is. And I was like, well, here, dude. I rolled a bunch of joints and pulled out the bongs. I was like, just smoke a bunch of weed. So we started watching it. Dude, they were fucking freaking out. They were all like scared. They were like, what is this you gave us? It was the new weed. And they were like, what are we watching? You know, because Metalocalypse was fucking crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, we became great fucking friends. I became friends with all these guys. I wound up tattooing all of them. We still talk to each other. This is like fucking years ago. Like That's 10 awesome. Years or so. See, weed brought everybody together. And video games and Metalocalypse. Yeah, I thought of that story right now just when you were saying playing video games.
Jamie said that sounds like a lovely sitcom.
Oh, no shit, right? A stoner guy. Hanging around with a bunch of jock Marines. It's cool. It's cool.
Giving them drugs so they lose their VA pensions.
I mean, they all had jobs and shit doing other things. The main jock went on to become a firefighter. Oh. He's an actual firefighter.
Is his name Mr. Monkey?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Monkey's straight edge for years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Instead of eyebrows, he shaved on their X's.
That's cool.
And every day he gets up and he covers them with Sharpie. So he has the cholo eyebrows.
The sharp ones that are pointy at the top?
Yeah. He has huge fucking cholo eyebrows. So.
Well, I think, I mean, I'm going to say this is one of those movies you have to watch.
Yeah, it is. It is on the top. You have to watch this movie.
Yeah, everything about it's great except for
and it's so crazy to me when
guys acting.
It's so crazy to me when I tell people about it and they're like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, oh my God, like you're out there watching fucking 50 Shades of Grey and you've never seen fucking Cabin in the Woods, like. And then when you show it to people, they're just like blown away.
Because you don't really have to be a horror fan to like this movie. It's funny enough, and it's like it's campy enough. Even though there's crazy killings, it's campy enough to cover that up. But then for horror fans, you're just like, wow, this is insane practical effects and a good story, and it's funny. So,
like people that I meet, I'll ask them, "Do you like horror movies?" And if they say no, I'm like, this isn't gonna work. Like it's not gonna work.
Like just as a person, you're like they need to die, or
yeah,
like this isn't gonna work. You need.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not the type of person that just watches horror. Like I love, you know, me and romantic.
But if you
comedies.
don't like horror, dead.
Daddy Glitter Shrek. True, my boyfriend doesn't like horror. Made him watch it last Halloween, and he loved it. Yeah, and then if they do, they're like, well, I like, you know, Hocus Pocus. And I'm like,
That's not a horror movie.
oh, okay. So I'll introduce
Just like
him.
the monsters aren't a horror movie.
It's not. It's like kid friendly. So I'll introduce him into something soft, no gore,
Yeah.
nothing too crazy, and this is a good one to introduce him to. And the only part they'll get scared on is that fucking beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, the actual...
Because you know me, I don't give a fuck. I have my stereo on loud.
Your neighbors probably hate you.
I don't give a shit. I don't bitch when they running around humping their dogs upstairs.
That's cool. So I think I give this thing like literally 5 out of 5. That's how much I like this movie.
I do 10.
Okay, I give this a 9.5 out of 10. So it's actually, I gave it a 4.75. So if we're going all the way up to 10, I just rounded up to 10. I mean, up to 5s. But if we're going up to 10, I'm going to give it a 9.5.
I would give it the same just because of the stoner guy.
Okay.
But yeah, it's up there. It's way up there. I don't buy 4K DVDs, but I bought this one on 4K.
So you do buy 4K DVDs.
I have that one and I have Alien.
So a 4K DVD is technically a Blu-ray, right? I mean, it's Blu-ray technology, 4K,
Yes.
right?
But you have to have a 4K player to play it.
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit.
What's the 4K
You can play
Blu-ray?
4K on the Xbox One, but
Yep.
you can't play 4K on the PlayStation 4. I don't know if they changed it where you can do it on the 5. You can stream 4K on PlayStation 4, but you can't play the actual disc. It's dumb, right? It's fucking dumb. That's why I don't buy 4Ks.
I only have a 2K TV, so it doesn't matter.
Shit, you have like a fucking 80 megapixel.
Oh,
TV.
sorry, mine's 360. Mine's 360 I.
Megapixels? Is that what that is?
It's a 360i, is what mine says on it. So, Jamie, can you? I think we're about to wrap it up. Can you pull up the upcoming, please? Oh, thank you. Wow, you're fast.
I know. Shit.
So, Cabin in the Woods, that was today. Oh, the Boneyard tomorrow, man. So is there any way for people to watch the Boneyard?
You know what? Let me see real quick. Hold on.
I don't know if there is. It's a direct to video, Phyllis Diller. I mean, it's like a weird it's kind of an obscure movie, right? I mean, it's not like
No, not even on Amazon.
no way to watch that.
There's nowhere to watch it.
So you guys are screwed.
It's great too. It went direct to video,
Yeah.
and
tomorrow we'll have to be convincing enough with our storytelling to get people to actually go to Amazon and buy it. Jamie, can you look up to see how much this is on Amazon?
dude, the
Boneyard.
VHS. I wish I had the VHS. I'll see you what it is tomorrow. But I'm like, fuck, I have to have that VHS tape.
The Boneyard?
I want it.
It's $9 on Amazon. $10 probably. $9 or $10. Oh yeah, $9.99. See, $10.
But it's not
ordering it
streaming.
now.
It's not streaming though, right?
It's not streaming anywhere. I looked it up the other day and I'm like, that thing you cannot get that full at all. But
Yeah, you should buy that one. That's a good
anybody
one to have.
watching, at least like click on that link just to see what it looks like, because
Read the synopsis.
because just the cover
Just
alone,
the cover, yeah.
so good, so good. But yeah, I think that about does it for today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow night to talk about the Boneyard.
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Boneyard.
So,
The Boneyard.
yeah. Tune in.
And talk shit until tomorrow.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Bye.